Hey guys, welcome to my basement, or what I also like to call, I don't really have a nickname, it's just my basement. Behind me are my gym rings. I spend a lot of time down here doing gym rings workouts, or you could just call them workouts. And today I want to walk you guys through the three main exercises or movements that I do that I've been doing consistently over the last 8 months since I started tracking my workouts in November now. I have doubled my output across these three main exercises through those 8 months, and while I'm not finished in my journey, I've definitely seen improvements and progress in the shape that I want, the physique that I want, and the strength that I'm gaining through these rings. So first, we'll start with push-ups. What I'm going to do is just demonstrate the things I do, and I'll give tips and pointers and techniques as I walk through these push-ups. We'll just do one set. I don't want to waste too much of your time, but let's get into it. So to start, you'll want to first buy a set of gym rings, but second, you'll want to set up your gym rings a little bit at or beneath where your knee meets. So from here, you can work at varying degrees of difficulty. I'm going to start just with a normal push-up in the sunk position, I'll call it. And I want to get as deep into this shoulder socket as I can. If I can, I want my biceps to touch my forearms with that kind of range of motion. Now this should be pain-free. If it's not pain-free, go to a level that's comfortable for you. But here we're going to knock out, I don't know, maybe 10 of these push-ups, and we'll move on to our next movement. So as I come up, I want to lock out my elbows, and if I can, I want to point my thumbs outward, and then sink as deep as I can into the shoulders. And I really want to stress range of motion. And I also, if you can think of it, we also want to explode on the way up. This would be the concentric phase of the movement, and then really slow on the way down, the eccentrics. Explode up, ease your way down. Almost, it's not quite a negative, but you can treat it in mindset as a negative. And again, try to lock out your knees. Try to keep your core tight. You want to be parallel to the ground if possible. And I'll do anywhere from 3 to 5 sets of push-ups per workout. And then I'll walk myself out. Now, if a full push-up is too hard, and you haven't done the rings before, a ring push-up is significantly harder than a normal push-up. And you get more range of motion, obviously, because the floor stops you. Another thing I like about the rings is my wrists can contour and give to the motion throughout my movement. Where the floor, your wrists are in a fixed position. And I found that, that takes a bit out of me. I found that my wrists are healthier. I have no pain with the rings because the rings give with me. Now, to make this easier, you can walk these rings out a bit. So maybe take 1 step, 2 step, we'll go 3 step. I think you can see me here. And it's still the same motions, still the same tips, but it's going to be a little easier. You're just pushing out here, still keeping the knees extended, the core engaged. Trying to get as much as I can out of this. And I'll do one more. And then as this gets easier, you can take a step back and work from here. And then another step back. But it can get tricky depending upon your grip of flooring. Your feet may slip like they are now. But that's okay. That's the first movement of what I call the big 3 of my workouts. The second movement is dips. So you'll need to find the range that works for you. I have found that 5 1/3 works well for me. I'm about 5'10", and I have limited ceilings to work with. Let's see here. There we go. So I'm going for 5'1", and that should be here. And you'll want to make sure this metal is up high and out of the way of where your arms could be crossing with the straps. So now onto dips, the second movement. Again, I'm just going to demonstrate and talk through pointers. So we're here, and I can cross my legs because I'm limited at the bottom. But in the same concept with the push-ups, I am sinking as deep as I can into my elbows and my shoulders. And I might even hold this here. And same concept. Concentric phase, explode up. And if I can, push my thumbs out or expose the inside of my elbows. And back down. Back out. That's 3. I think we'll try 5. I might have more in the tank, but I don't know how much I would have left otherwise. That's 4. That's 5. Now, you may not be able to do any dips. If you've just gotten gym rings, this could be really difficult. So what you'll want to do is just start with what I call our suspension holds. And a suspension hold, to me, is just being at the top here and holding yourself suspended in air. Your arms may shake like a leaf. You may be like this, you may be all over the place, but over time, your stabilizer muscles will strengthen and get used to these rings, and the suspension holds will become easier and easier. But this is very exhausting. That is dips. The third and final movement that I work on consistently, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, if you want to be specific, are pull-ups. It's not rocket science. 3 of the most basic upper body movements known to mankind. And again, you'll want to find a range for your notches on the straps that works for you. Here, I'm at about 1, and we'll call it a half. But again, I'm limited by my ceiling. And you want to make sure, again, the belt harnesses are out of the way, because they will leave notches on your wood rings if you're not careful. With a pull-up, to warm up, I would just like to dead hang. 30 seconds, 15 seconds. You should feel a stretch in your pecs, in your obliques. Your grip should work. And because I have a limited floor here, my hip flexors are firing because I can't lengthen to stretch out. But this will be a good stretch and a good feeling if you're just trying to loosen up your shoulders and your back. So we're going to try to do 5 pull-ups here. I'm going to give myself a little bit of a break. Shake the hands out a little bit. And when you do all of this, your arms are probably going to feel pretty juiced up, pretty adrenaline filled, so you can shake them out, shake your hands, do some arm swings, do a little circle, or a couple circles, you know, however many circles you like. But now for the pull-ups, same concepts. Slow on the way down, explode if you can on the way up. And I'm trying to lock out my elbows at the bottom, and I'm trying to get as far as I can to the top. If my biceps can touch my forearms, that's a win. If my hands can touch my shoulders, that's a win. So here's one pull-up. So see how the rings are touching both shoulders right now. And that's what I want. That's about as far as I can go. I'm trying to keep the core engaged. I'm trying to keep the glutes flexed a little bit. Otherwise, you'll stick up like this, which could be another movement. Slow on the way down. I'm exploding up. Slow on the way down, controlled. Exploding up. Slow on the way down. Exploding up. This is 4. I'm going to give you one more. And then give you another tip. And another thing I like about the rings, here's 5. Slow on the way down. And similar to the push-ups, one thing I like about doing pull-ups in the gym rings is the rings will contour to my wrists instead of being fixed to a bar. I haven't had any wrist pain, any elbow pain, and I'm only doing body weight, and I'm trying to max out ranges of motion in a healthy way. I would much rather have a full range of motion in all these movements than to be constricted or shortened and develop limits over time, which ultimately lead to joint replacements or visits to hospitals, and we don't want that. So these are what I consider the big 3 for my workouts. I've been doing these for 8 months, and I'm not a finished product, but I really enjoy this. If you guys have stuck around this long, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.